Jackson Pollock is one of the most recognizable American painters of the 40s and 50s whose work has both been admired as genius and criticized as meaningless. But what does this have to do with sustainable fashion? By the end of this video, you will know. Hello, I'm Shelly, a zero-waste fashion designer from Harvard, talking about fashion design, sustainable fashion, and starting a fashion business in school. If you care about any of that, please subscribe and check out my other videos. In this video, I'm going to make a zero-waste jumpsuit. I've seen your comments and I know you've asked for it. And in the process, I'm going to take inspiration from Jackson Pollock to paint fabric in a way that is more sustainable, and I think it looks pretty cool too. So let's get started. Step 1, materials. I actually did a video previously in which I talked about materials in detail, so I'm going to include the link here. You'll basically need the same things: measuring tape, chalk, pins, threads, and a sewing machine. The only additional thing that you need here is paint. I like to use the Arteza fabric paint because they're non-toxic, so I don't have to worry about accidentally eating them and dying from it. I mean, I don't know why that would happen. A quick trick if you don't have fabric paint is that you can just use acrylic paint. It basically functions the same way. Step 2, fabric. This is where I was inspired by Jackson Pollock. So today, dyeing or coloring fabric actually uses a lot of water. Up to 20% of industrial water pollution comes from fabric dyes or treatments. For example, for this jumpsuit that I'm making, the conventional way of dyeing fabric will require probably about 40 gallons of water. I mean, try drinking 40 gallons of milk. No. Get the point. But by using Jackson Pollock's action painting technique, I only used less than 1% of that. And I didn't waste any water because all of that actually went on the fabric. But what's action painting? Jackson Pollock's action painting technique basically means that instead of using your brush and actually painting straight onto the canvas or your fabric, instead you actually paint in mid-air and splatter so that the paint falls on the canvas or on your fabric. I diluted the fabric paint in just a tiny bit of water so that the paint would actually flow from my brush when I'm painting in mid-air. What's so great about this technique is that it actually disperses the paint so that it falls on the fabric in a thinner layer. This way, the fabric maintains its lightness and flow without the need to be bathed in a tub full of water that's only going to be wasted later. While Pollock loves to layer on a lot of paint to create these dense blocks, I kept it really thin with just 3 different colors. I used diluted silver, diluted white, and also this dark blue color. And by the way, I used a recycled fabric from New York as my base. So this is how I translated Pollock's action painting technique into no waste fabric painting. 2 tips here. 1, start from the edge of the fabric and actually splatter and move your brush toward the middle. This way you won't be splattering outside of the fabric too much, and it also creates a cool framing, which looks pretty nice when it's worn. 2nd, make sure you actually put some newspaper under the fabric to catch any paint that leaks. I totally did not do this, so the paint actually got on the wooden floor underneath the fabric. I had to spend like 2 hours cleaning and scrubbing. My back still hurts. Step 3, designing and sewing. I mainly did this video to talk about the Pollock style fabric painting, so I'm not going to go into too much detail in terms of design. Basically, for this design, I wanted to create a jumpsuit that was loose and made me feel free and comfy even when I'm stuck indoors. So I designed for these big loose pants. And for the top part, I wanted these braiding so that it's actually pretty soft on the shoulders. I also added these snaps at the bottom, so it's actually really easy to use the bathroom. The difficulty of using the bathroom has always been the reason why I don't really wear jumpsuits. And I want this jumpsuit to be different. I want to wear it all the time. And as always, there are going to be these side pockets. For the pattern, I'll just need 4 large rectangles to create this zero fabric waste design. I'm going to cut a smaller rectangle from the top middle of each large rectangle, and these are actually going to form the pockets. When sewing, I hem the edges to give it a nice finish. I attach the side pockets. My previous video also went into how to attach these side pockets, so I'm not going to go into that too much here. I then close the sides and the pants. Finally, I braid the straps and close them too. Now I want to show you how this Jackson Pollock inspired zero fabric waste and zero water waste jumpsuit looks like. much for watching. Bye bye.